Fala aí, meus queridos, sejam todos muito bem-vindos. Eu sou Adriano Lenhador, seu Star Player favorito de For Honor, e hoje estarei fazendo com vocês aqui a transmissão da Warriors Den, a retransmissão, na verdade, né? Nós vamos acompanhar o lançamento do novo herói, personagem da facção dos Outlanders, mais um Outlander inspirado aí na cultura azteca, maia, chamado de Ocelotl, tá? Antes de mais nada, eu estou aguardando o início da transmissão oficial aqui. Eu espero só que a tela não esteja preta para vocês, porque transmitir pelo YouTube é sempre chatíssimo. Mas vamos lá. Ocelotl, eu vou falar um pouquinho dele. Na verdade, eu quero falar antes de mais nada. Você abriu esse vídeo aqui, começou a ver a transmissão, certo? Temos 3 minutos antes de começar. Eu quero pedir o like de vocês e comentário no vídeo, por favor. Ajudem no engajamento, tá? Beleza. Não gosto de pedir like, mas vou ter que ficar pedindo. Outra coisa, obrigado. Me dá um feedback aí do áudio, se o áudio tá baixo, se o áudio tá bom, se tá ruim, né? Sempre que eu troco as transmissões da Twitch pro YouTube, eu preciso mexer tudo de novo. E é na correria, porque eu saí correndo do trabalho para poder fazer essa transmissão para vocês.
I was heading back towards my village after a successful hunt when I first heard the screams. I remember running as fast as I could and still feeling like I was so far away. I stopped only for a moment when I broke through the tree line. I saw the burning homes, the lifeless villagers on the ground, and the blood. So much blood. My eyes filled with rageful tears, but I held them back. I focused on those who were still alive. My people, rounded up on their knees, shaking, crying, screaming. And the 3 warmonger conquistadors that stood tall in front of them, laughing, pointing at their next victim. A child. A conquistador grabbed the boy by the neck. They never heard me coming. It was quick, but they felt death before it took them. Covered in the blood of my victims, my attention turned to the horizon, to Tenochtitlan, our great city, our living heart. The pillars of black smoke in the distance.
Não vai dar nem tempo de eu traduzir para vocês, porque vai começar.
The worst. They had come.
Na verdade, é um relato de um guerreiro azteca que chegou, viu a vila dele sendo massacrada por 3 warmongers. E é isso.
They think we're trapped, caged, but they have no idea what is coming. We will have our revenge.
Então é isso, é um guerreiro azteca buscando vingança contra os warmongers. Aí o trailer que a gente já assistiu, né, olha o apito da morte. Deve ser um feat esse apito da morte, deve ser algum feat, alguma coisa assim. As clavas usando vidro de obsidiana. Meu áudio tá muito baixo, e agora? Tá muito alto. Deu uma aumentada aí no áudio, galera. Só me dá o feedback aí, ver se tá ok. Agora vamos para aquele trailer genérico. Bom, galera, é o seguinte, se você quer saber já tudo, você tá vendo esse vídeo depois que ele foi ao vivo e você quer saber tudo, vai pro final do vídeo onde eu dou o resumo, tá? No final do vídeo lá eu dou um resumão de tudo. Agora a gente vai acompanhar em tempo real todas as informações Referente à temporada Vengeance, né? Temporada 2 do ano 7. Então agora será a revelação do herói, que já se revelou. Mas vamos ver movie list dele, tal, movimentos, né?
Welcome back, Warriors. It's Warriors Den time. I hope everybody's hyped because today we're talking about the new hero.
Hoje nós vamos falar do novo herói.
Yeah.
Eu vou só dando uma traduzida no contexto, não vou traduzir ao pé da letra porque é muito trampo, né?
I believe we have stuff dropping.
Yeah, we got some stuff dropping, and we can tell you all about that right now in this camera. So this is great. You all know how this works by now. Okay, we want to get to talking about this new hero because we are super excited about that. But we want you to also benefit as much as possible from enjoying the stream with us.
Eles vão falar para você logar na Twitch, certo? Sempre loguem na Twitch para acompanhar a transmissão deles. Vocês estão acompanhando a transmissão pelo meu canal aqui, certo? Mas vocês podem acompanhar pela Twitch lá deles também. Só me dá mais um feedback aí se tá bom o meu áudio, o áudio deles, tá, galera? Se vocês puderem me ajudar aí, porque eu faço tudo na correria aqui. Top 10 streamers, olha aí, eu não estarei entre eles, porque não dá pra competir com esses caras desocupados aí não.
And grant you 100,000 steals. So there you go. There's your motivation right there. Get on Twitch, stream it.
Então vamos lá, como sempre depois do lançamento do herói, se você assistir qualquer live de For Honor, você ganha as recompensas, tá? Então você vai lá assistir o canal do lenhador, vê a minha live, você ganha essas recompensas aí que eles passaram agora. É umas caixas, uns buffzinhos de XP, uns negócio razoável. Ó, se você assistir 1 hora, você ganha um XPzinho. 4 horas você ganha 4 buffs de XP mais uma caixa. Enfim, você vai assistindo lives de For Honor e vai desbloqueando esse conteúdo, tá? Isso a partir do lançamento do herói, certo? Que é só semana que vem. E isso também começa semana que vem. Mas os sorteios dos drops da Twitch por assistir a transmissão deles já tá valendo agora. Vamos lá, vamos ter uma Free Week, uma semana de For Honor grátis. Cara, o For Honor tava R$10 na Steam, R$8. Eu não acho que ser de graça é o problema não. Mas vamos lá.
Get your friends on board because we've got more to help them out. And if you're like, well, I've already tried to get all my friends into the game. They all tried and now they don't play anymore. We've got something for that too.
That's right. We're prepared for any type of situation.
Se você indicar um amigo, você ganha recompensas no jogo também. Olha aí. Se você converter 2 amigos, você ganha mais recompensas. Se você converter 3 amigos, e eu que converto uma comunidade inteira, eu ganho o quê? Ganho cabelo branco, né, e menos anos de vida. Mas é isso, são recompensas aí que o jogo tá dando aí pra galera.
It's so much fun. We got all these things. So just come back and play. Just jump back in.
It's gonna be contentious in chat.
I'm fine with that. I will.
And I'm okay with it.
I will deal with the contention on this. All right, I'm still having a blast with it. But anyway, you bring them back, and guess what? If you get people coming back through the reactivation program here, you're gonna win some fabulous, awesome prizes too. You'll get some XP boosts. Scavenger.
Entendi esse negócio de reabilitar amigos. Como que o cara vai saber que eu tô trazendo ele de volta? Não entendi muito bem isso aí não, depois eu vou pesquisar a respeito.
And the people you bring back, they benefit as well. They get champion status, they get some steel, so it's a great way to bring some people back who've maybe dropped off over the past, like a year or so ago. But those people who maybe got the game right at the beginning were like, I love the campaign, but what's up?
I love the campaign. Ninguém ama a campanha, meu querido.
I know, there's still people.
Mostly fixed.
There's still people, like... now it's fixed. Yeah,
yeah.
That's still funny. They're just like, oh yeah, I played when it came out, but haven't come back. You're like, nah, come back.
I got a deal for you.
Yeah, we've got it.
But yeah, great chance to earn some steel. Get your friends back in. It's like, hey, just like come play the new Ocelot hero. So,
Yes.
but before we get into the new Ocelot hero, I think we're gonna. Oh no, I gotta recap what's coming
Vamos
up.
lá, se eles vão falar mais alguma coisa interessante. Por enquanto só estão falando de trazer. Estão precisando trazer antigos jogadores de volta, né? Vamos lá, Title Update. O 1 já foi. Praticamente, né? Acaba agora aqui, dia 20, né? Que é o evento de invasão aqui da Fúria do Yomungander. Então o que importa vai ser o Title Update 2 aqui, tá? Que vai ser semana que vem o lançamento do herói. Importante dizer que é o seguinte, o lançamento do herói vai ser pago. Sempre aí uns R$40, por aí. Você joga 15 dias antecipado com o herói, quem pagou. Depois disso, só que ele vai ficar disponível para comprar com aço no jogo, tá? Eu sei que é padrão isso, mas eu sempre é bom repetir.
I did. And so before we jump into all the details about the Ocelot, we're going to talk about the console performance mode coming up.
Olha aí, ó.
To talk about that. So don't go anywhere.
Vai dar o upgrade na performance dos... Olha os consoles aí, ó. Os consoles agora batendo de frente total com o PC, hein, galera. Mas isso vai ser nos novos consoles, né? Provavelmente. Então, interessante aí, um ponto muito relevante para gameplay de vocês. Performance Mode, vamos ver o que eles vão falar aí, tá? Isso é muito importante. Provavelmente vai ser os consoles da nova geração rodando a 120 FPS. Creio que seja isso. Vamos ver aí. A todo mundo do chat aí, um abraço para vocês. Obrigado por estarem me prestigiando aqui. Eu não vou poder responder um a um agora no meio da transmissão, porque eu preciso ouvir, entender, traduzir e falar e interpretar tudo ao mesmo tempo. Mas no fim da live a gente troca aquela ideia, como sempre, todo mundo, beleza? Agora, muito provavelmente, quem acompanha aí viu que teve uma época que deu uma bugada, que os consoles começaram a rodar 120 FPS. Aí todo mundo, pô, que bug é esse? É o bug do bem, né? Mas provavelmente os caras estavam testando essa performance aí sem falar pra ninguém. E aí agora deu certo, provavelmente eles vão lançar. Mano, olha o naipe do parceiro ali. Parece aqueles gringos que vai pro Rio de Janeiro, sabe?
I'm the programming team lead of the content programmer, so all engine, UI, gameplay.
So all that nitty gritty, like getting your hands dirty.
Exactly.
I like it. So we've got a console performance mode coming to you. A couple of notes before we jump into the specifics. This will be a new option in the UI. So for those of you who are like, I like my For Honor how it is. I don't want any changes, okay? That's fine. You can just leave it on quality mode, which is where it'll be by default, which is the For Honor you've known and loved for these 7 years.
Certo, vai ter uma mudançazinha.
But for those of you who are like, I want more frames. I want more frames in my For Honor. We're going to have a performance mode option you can select. There will be some trade-offs. So you'll be trading a little bit of graphic fidelity for more frames. But this will enable some of you to finally light parry. So,
olha aí, vamos estar parrying light, galera. Vai ser uma opção dentro do jogo,
I'm just excited that we're able to bring it. So why don't we jump into some of the specifics and you can walk us through it.
Yeah.
Vamos ver como funciona.
There's some trade-offs. I'm going to start with those. So we reduce the resolution to 1080p, so some add 4K now is 1080p.
Na geração antiga que se dane, vai ficar com 30 FPS.
To get the best performance. There's some possibility to have screen tearing, but if you have some hardware that supports VR, variable refresh rate, you can mitigate that.
And that's because we got rid of the VSync. Right?
Exactly, yeah. And also there's if you have a 120 Hz monitor or TV, this will get even better
performance mode.
All right, and for those of you who are like, well, what specifics are there? What technical requirements do I need? What hardware requirements? Because I know like you have to have certain HDMI cables, stuff like that. We've got a blog post that's going to be coming, so you'll be able to go on the For Honor News section, frontogame.com, and that article.
Deixa eu entender o que ele está falando, cara.
So you can go in, you can see everything you need to do to make sure that you get the best experience with performance mode. And it should answer any questions in there, like what to do if you get screen tearing. Like Gabrielle said, you can enable variable refresh rate, active sync, whatever your display calls it.
Yeah.
And take us through what kind of performance thresholds are we looking at?
Yeah, so basically the core of the performance mode is we unlock the FPS, unlock the frame rate. So,
tá, isso que eu queria saber.
So we have a little table here with
Ó, o PS4 vai ter uma melhorazinha de 30 para 40 FPS. Geração antiga, 30 para 40. Já o PS4 Pro vai chegar a 60 FPS, olha que legal. Não, volta aí, meu.
And a quick note on that,
carai.
obviously that's dependent on what's kind of happening in the game, everything going on.
Your network connection also.
So, this is should be what you can expect average is in that threshold, might go plus or minus.
Depois eu vou ter que voltar nessa tabela para ver direito, que é o que importa. Eu quero saber os FPS de cada versão de game, meu parceiro. Ninguém quer saber de água, de gráfico, de...
So, anything else on
Nossa, um negócio mega importante, cara. Volta lá. Bom, depois eu volto, galera. Manualmente, no fim da live eu volto.
Everything is in there. It's super important to get the best out of performance mode. So that's a look at it. And just a huge thanks to the engine team that worked on this. They did an amazing job, and it's super awesome.
Yeah, it's always nice when section.
Pelo que eu vi, PS4 Pro vai jogar de 40 a 60 FPS. Porra, já é ótimo. Geração antiga PS4 Pro. Então o antigão vai ser de 30 a 60. O Xbox equivalente do PS4 Pro acho que também vai chegar perto de 60 FPS. E o PS5 vai a 120 FPS, que é o que a gente já sabia, né? Olha aí o trailer, hein? To see your home defiled. You tried to take everything from us. Yet here we stand. Ó o bichão aí. Parece um Medjay, né, velho? Grandão e tal. Já deu um jump heavy ali. The Ocelotl will hunt you. Oxi. O cara tem feat de invisibilidade? Já pensou? Tem uma zagaia. Ó o apito da morte aí. Tem que ter o apito da morte, né? Tem que ter a zagaia, tem que ter apito da morte. Isso aí, acho. Vamos lá, a narrativa agora. Eles vão contar a história aí do Ocelotl. Cara, Ocelotl, pra quem não sabe, é jaguatirica, que é tipo aquela... É tipo uma onça pintada lá dos Azteca, tá ligado? Então o Ocelotl é essa jaguatirica aí. Vamos ver sobre a narrativa. Só tô achando estranho que quando eu troco aqui tá sumindo a tela. Eu detesto fazer pelo YouTube por causa disso. Deixa eu ver se eu consigo fazer pela Twitch aqui, galera. Rapidinho. Rapidinho. Vou dar uma fechadinha aqui, ó. Só um segundo, tá? Deixa eu ver se eu troco, porque pelo YouTube é sempre meio bugado esse bagulho. Não sei se é direito autoral da UB, que eles fazem. Vou tentar streamar pela Twitch aqui, ver se... Pô, tá até adiantado na Twitch, ó. Na Twitch a transmissão tá adiantada.
Welcome back once again. I am joined.
Não dá. Mesmo jeito. É coisa desse programa que eu tô usando aqui.
The failed intro.
Why? Oh no! I thought you were happy to see me.
The wrong name popped into my head, and I was like, "No, we're not doing that." So, welcome, Raphael. I believe this is your first time on the Den.
It is indeed. I'm really happy to be here.
And I am too. Sorry about the failed intro.
No problem.
So, so available on July 27th, and then will be the new Ocelotl hero.
Isso aí, dia 27, disponível.
Cold Hard Cash.
Novo personagem, Ocelotl.
Later, available for Steel, the Riddle of Steel.
E depois de 15 dias estará disponível
but we've got
por
a lot of
aço.
details to get through with regard to all the things for the hero. So why don't we jump into that with you, Stefan? Why don't you give us a quick rundown?
I would love to. Super hyped to talk about the Ocelotl.
Vamos ver o que o Stefan vai falar.
It's a new Outlander, bringing a new hero to the
novo Outlander,
battle, finally.
Obviamente.
Outlander, what I love about them is they bring two new things to the battlefield every time. First is a new culture. We've started to see that at the
Trazendo uma nova cultura.
And I think Ian will talk more about that and others throughout the show. So I won't spend too much time on that, but Aztec for the first time. Yes, awesome.
Azteca mesmo.
And then second thing that the Outlanders bring is a new gameplay.
É uma nova gameplay.
Later in the show. Yes, exactly.
É o que a gente quer saber.
Explanation, but at the high level, this character is very precise, calculating, tactical hunter.
Caçador.
See that reflected in
a little sneaky stocky.
Maybe a little bit. You're going to see it reflected both in the fight kit with the ability to kind of move around the fight a little bit and jump in, pounce, gank as you want.
Surprise.
And then you'll see the stalking hunter aspect also shown through the feat kit. And you will always be stalked by them. You're going to feel like there's eyes everywhere.
Yeah, even through death.
Even through death.
Yes.
What do you mean with that?
I don't know.
Eu tenho medo quando esses caras começam a falar de novas mecânicas,
sabe?
sabe?
Feel safe on the battlefield, which I think is going to be great. And I also feel there's going to be a bit of a meta shift for all the times where you're like, well, I'm in a one-on-one that I'm winning. Everything's going to go my way. Maybe you won't be. Maybe you're going to be just chilling on your home point. Maybe that's not going to go super well. And maybe you're going to turn out to be the weak, wounded gazelle running away, and it's going to be like
that's where the surprise comes in.
Exactly.
I mean, the unofficial tagline is basically "Be afraid," right?
Yeah.
Be afraid, fear him.
And I'm looking forward to hearing just everything we have to divulge today on the hero. Raphael is going to be giving us a historical perspective, but first, Ian, can you walk us through the narrative?
Let's talk narrative.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I want all the story, all the lore.
Vamos ver a narrativa.
Talk about, in TU1 we had the conquistadors. They returned to Heathmoor. After visiting the New World.
Na primeira temporada nós tivemos os conquistadores, que eram os warmongers, né?
No more secrets, finally. So they returned after plundering the empire. They brought back all this gold.
Que voltaram cheio de ouro.
Like tales of their grand achievements, but hey, here's a spoiler: they lied. They made shit up. Everything they did was horrible.
Na verdade, os warmongers, tudo que eles fizeram foi horrível.
They brought back this lone prisoner, this final survivor of the Aztec Empire, but it's not true.
Colonizers lie? Never.
No, it's unheard of. This our main Aztec hero, the Ocelotl, our main caged prisoner. He willingly gave himself up. He surrendered knowingly so that the rest of his people would be kept safe, while the others like okay, we got the last Aztec.
I'm the last one, promise.
Exactly.
Wink, wink.
Tá, ele se entregou para os conquistadores, foi trazido para o continente Heathmoor, falando que ele era o último vivo para preservar o povo dele lá.
So now he's just lying in wait. We know the execution's coming at sunup.
Agora ele sabe que está esperando a execução dele. Mas ele sabe que o povo dele seguiu ele até Heathmoor. E agora vão buscar vingança.
That's the name of the season.
That is the name of the season.
What? We said the thing.
That's a lot of confidence, simply putting your life into the hands of.
Então é isso, meio que ele falou, eu sou o último guerreiro aqui, eu me entrego, tal. Aí os Warmongers trouxeram ele tava dentro daquela... Fica lá embaixo, lá, aqui, não, cadê? Dentro daquela gaiola, você está ligado que vocês viram a última Warriors, hein? E aí, ele tá aguardando pra ser executado. Só que aí os outros brothers dele, né, a tribo dele, seguiu até o continente Riftmore, que é onde se passa o jogo, e agora vão tentar resgatar ele e causar um terrorzão no cenário. A grosso modo é isso.
Don't leak at Ubisoft, yes.
So yeah, there's plenty more. Just keep an eye out because we're telling the story of the Ocelotl who arrived.
Tá uma matança aí, hein?
They're leaving no stones unturned.
As well they should.
Ó, a gaiola que ele tava tá quebrada. Gaiola? Jaula, né? Sei lá.
This season, I'm looking forward to the lore orders. There's going to be some fun stuff in there, I know. But Raphael, hey, let's talk a little bit about the historical perspective that went into
a perspectiva histórica que eles procuraram para fazer o personagem.
First, we could discuss the fact that there is a historian working on this game. Samurai and Viking game. What is that? I guess it's unexpected, but the fact is, Runner is inspired by history.
Tá explicando óbvio que a história dos personagens não coincidem, mas nós fazemos os personagens inspirados em personagens históricos, né? Eles não tentam ser um jogo histórico, mas eles se inspiram, obviamente, em personagens históricos. Se inspiram, né?
And we've believed for a long time, and we still believe, that history is a good starting point to provide all of this. So my job is to provide inspiration to help the team. It's a basis, you know. We will go away from it at some point, but at the start it's like that, and then we go as we want.
A máscara do Máscara ali, ó.
Yes.
Do Máscara.
A good example of that is, the Aztecs in history, they weren't known as sailors, and but in our version of history, or what we're saying, like I said, they followed their leader home. Because in our version, after the cataclysm, they traded with pirates. The Aztec picked up on some. They picked up on some.
Tá falando, os Aztecas nunca foram navegadores, mas na nossa história aqui no nosso jogo eles negociaram com os piratas ali e conseguiram barcos e já era. Ok, né?
Back to the believability aspect. This is one of our core pillars on For Honor. We want, to be divergent in terms of history. But we want you to be immersed and feel the same feel as like the knight that would hold a sword. You want the sword to be recognizable, feel the same way, your opponents to look the same way. And now with the Aztec, the war club and the spear, to give that authentic feeling, believable.
Come back to that like key moment of like feel every blow.
Eles chamam de War Club, aquele bastão.
So any last notes before we
I really would like to give a
basicamente é porrete o nome.
The narrative team and the audio team, because we did something really special with this hero. We made him talk and speak in Nahuatl. This is
legal.
Not something that's used. That's really
personagem fala
in, video games.
E na linguagem azteca.
None of us speaks fluently in Nahuatl right now, so we had to go and work with a real actor, an actor that's called Rufino Romero.
Foram procurar um cara de verdade que fala a língua dos aztecas.
Nahuatl, which is different from the classical Nahuatl that the Aztecs or Mexicas would have been talking. We had after that to go to external experts that helped us to translate the line from Ian or the rest of the narrative team. It was not an easy process because sometimes the lines would be too long when you translated them, so we had to go back. But in the end, it works. And
gastaram dinheiro aí em negócio que não importa muito, né?
It's one of the big
Eu só penso nisso.
That you will be enjoying in the game, I guess, and that will bring you once again.
Ai. A Nux, ela esperando o rework, vocês gastando dinheiro com dublador de Azteca, velho. Quem liga? Mas tá bom. Bom trabalho, né? Se o Azteca falasse, a gente não ia dar a mínima. Mas ok.
So for those of you, thank you, Stefan, Ian, and Raphael.
Always a
for
pleasure.
joining me. But we've got more with the artistic direction. But first, quick mention: we will have an event pass for the.
Vamos lá, esse é
It'll start July 27th,
evento,
go through August
passe
17th.
gratuito, né?
So some of the things you can
Agora os
remember is
personagens vai
that
ficar
the,
bonito, hein?
tufted
Tudo
lemming,
com roupa de índio aí, ó.
outfit coming at you, as well as we've got the light.
Aqueles visuais
ornament
horríveis.
Right. We've got the path effect. So you can look for those and many other things in the event pass. And thank you again, all three of you, for joining me on this segment.
Always. See you on the battlefield.
Yeah. On the battlefield.
Thanks for having me on your couch and for getting my name.
Isso aí.
Usual experience, I guess.
I'm not gonna never live that down. That's gonna be awesome for me. But yeah,
Se eles falassem qualquer coisa com o personagem falasse isso é nativo dos aztecas, eu acho que só o próprio dublador ia saber que não é, né?
Artistic direction coming up next.
Vamos lá, diretor artístico. O cara vai falar, nós nos inspiramos em jaguatiricas, águias, alguns jacarés. Mano, vai falar uma coisa óbvia, né? Mas tá bom. Muitas penas de papagaio, muitas peles de jaguatirica e muitas obsidianas nas armas. Muito bem, cara. A gente vai ficar agora 20 minutos ouvindo isso. Parte boa é aqui, ó. Ocelotl Gameplay. Eu quero ver essa parte aqui. Mas é toda vez a mesma coisa. A gente já tá acostumado, né? Eu faço as piadas, mas... a gente já tá ligado como é que é o sistema. Vai vir agora o japonês lá. A paleta de cores, usamos cores vivas que remete à floresta amazônica, misturado com um tom pastel das construções astecas. Eu já dei spoiler de tudo pra vocês. Tá parecendo aquele episódio do Chapolin, do Cristóvão Colombo, tá ligado? Eu quero ver os caras falar do apito da morte. Ninguém falou do apito da morte. E ninguém vai falar como os aztecas arrancavam a cabeça dos seus inimigos e empilhavam os corpos. Se bem que passou ali o cenário, né? O cenário que passou, cara, tinha sangue por todo lado. Os caras são bem sanguinários. Olha a mulher do JC aí.
Joining us again for the first time on the den is Alex and Kiara. How are you both doing today?
Fantastic. Really excited.
So before we jump into the artistic direction behind the Ocelotl, why don't you both tell us a little bit about...
Trocou, não é mais o japonês, hein?
Yes, so I'm Alex. I'm the production manager on the character team, which is the ridiculously talented team that makes all of the new heroes, armor sets, and hero skins. I also coordinate with our team in Chengdu that makes all
uma
of the
equipe
weapons,
nova, hein?
all
Vamos ver se ficou melhor.
ornaments, mood effects, and armor variations.
Hi, and I'm Kiara. I do texture art. I also coordinate a little bit with Chengdu for validation and other fun stuff.
So all the materials,
yes.
A lot about rocks,
especially this season.
Awesome. So why don't we just jump right into kind of the high level stuff?
Yes. So for the Ocelotl, we really tried to make a respectful adaptation into our game. Like Raphael was mentioning, we had a lot of collaboration with historians.
Ficou bem bonito, bem bonito.
Work that in a little bit. So for our first set, we really went for the Jaguar Warrior, that classic look.
Clássico Jaguar Warrior.
The word
bom.
Ocelotl is
Bem
what
bonito.
the Jaguar Warrior class would have been called in Nahuatl.
Porque eles tentaram trazer ele mais fiel possível.
Yes.
And then build that up to a 3D.
Yeah, exactly. So we have all these lovely references from our historians. How do we go and adapt that? How do we translate that into 3D? So we'll take a lot of these images and put them together into the concept, and then we have this meeting where everyone who's going to work on the set will get together to actually talk about how we create it. So we'll have the concept artist, the modeler who
Cara, não tem muito como errar, né, velho? Porque é um personagem tão manjado assim. Eu quero ver as alterações, né, do set. Porque o set padrão tá bonito, tá ok, tá dentro do esperado. Ela tá falando ali um monte de coisa óbvia, técnica. Que não tem relevância, não. Mas acho que não tem como errar. É um personagem tão característico, né? Olha aí, ó. Bem bonito, eu achei legal. Eu acho que talvez o porrete dele tá muito quadradinho. Eu acho que podia ser mais bagunçado, sabe? Parece que ele tá muito retinho, assim. Dá uma impressão de foi feito na serralheria. Mas tá lindo, tá muito bonito. Famoso Jaguar Warrior. Ou Jaguar Chirica Warrior, né? No caso.
And a snake. And so in this one, yes.
We're gonna have a snack set. Nice.
Yeah. So the materials was an important
O
choice.
apito da morte nas costas. Tem que ter o apito da morte.
Instead, what we have is obsidian and turquoise, and we have some beads that were made from nuts. And so what the set has there is that the animal sort of helmet, and then at his waist he'll have an
Olha lá o que eu falei, ó.
and his death whistle.
Pena de papagaio, pele de jaguatirica, vai botar ali uns negócios de cobra. E é isso, velho. Tem muito pra onde ir, né?
I think we've got the Jaguar set. We mentioned Snake. There's
Jaguar, Snake.
We also have a set 2. Yes.
Set 2.
Yes, and in the set 2, this one is based on warrior
Deixa eu
priests who would
chutar.
also accompany the Aztecs into battle. So this one has a bunch of ceremonial masks. The themes of them are human,
Máscara cerimonial.
Death one is
The death one is sick.
Com muita pena de papagaio. Arara.
Much like the pelt of the first set as well, which would be earned for taking prisoners.
Nice.
Legal, né? É a máscara do Máscara mesmo, ó. Verde e tudo. Só que essa aí tá um pouco mais triste, né? Legal também, bonito.
So Kiara, talk to us about the materials, because I see we don't just have these like flat 2D feathers going on.
Oh no, yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff. The materials this time, the big challenge is that all the materials used for Ocelotl is raw materials compared to the Conquistador, which really had transformed materials like metal, you know,
Ó lá a cabeça de papagaio. Eu sabia que ia ter um cabeça de papagaio. Mas que papagaião é esse, hein, meu? Ô, Louro José. Ah, esse aqui, tipo... Isso aqui tá parecendo um aborígene, né? Aqueles aborígenes lá da... É da Austrália? Esse aqui é feio. Pele de cobra aqui eu achei feio. Feião pele de cobra, hein? Esse aí tá bonito. A máscara tá legal. Olha esse segundo. Esse segundo ficou bem bonito. O da caveira.
Wood is more reddish compared to here, which are more on the grayish, brownish tints.
Legal.
And the feathers, which we really,
I'm excited about.
Oh,
Feathers are beautiful.
The feathers are beautiful. So, they're from South America, right? So, all the birds are crazy colors and funky patterns, and we really wanted to keep that, but give the players the opportunity to actually put variety and use.
A arma padrão também, legal.
to modify the feathers.
I can adjust with my color palette.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there is variety in the feathers. It's gonna be a lot of fun, especially that since they're tropical.
Esse terceiro aí, ó, ficou legal. Porrete mais largão, né? E a lança bem pontuda. Esse aí não tem obsidiana, ele tem osso, menos eficiente. Aí eles vão alternando, uns tem osso, outros não tem. Outros tem obsidiana, esse aqui parece que é um tipo de metal, né? Ou uma pedra. Uma pedra afiada.
Aztec, the way they used paint isn't like how the Asian cultures or European cultures did, which is very
highly processed,
thinned out, exactly, chips off the armor and all that. Here it's more dirt.
Ela falou que tentou trazer armas menos produzidas e mais selvagens, né? O que não condiz com com esses sets aí, né? Esses sets aí estão muito produzidos.
Nice. Nice. So, a little thicker, a little more
aí já virou fuleiragem pra mim já. Aí já virou fuleiragem.
I love that. And,
aí já parece de plástico já o negócio. Os primeiros estavam bem bonitos.
We've got a new set for Shinobi coming out as well. So we've got set. You know, we gotta give Max a second because we gotta let this video finish. But,
esse de águia aí. Eles parecem que começa com um conceito legal de arma e cada vez mais, quanto mais high level, né? Menos vai parecendo com uma arma de fato.
Hammering and the gold, and you can see the shaping of the obsidian on the weapons. We put a lot of thought and passion in our textures. So.
And it shows.
Yeah.
It shows. There's one of the weapon sets got a lot of orange in it. I think that's going to be the one I'll grind for. But yeah, I mentioned the new Shinobi set. So let's take a look at set 5. Flippy
Olha aí, meu. Cara, se não tivesse essa máscara de papagaio ou de periquito, não sei dizer, eu acho que ficaria da hora essa roupa do ninja. Eu não gostei da máscara. Cara, definitivamente não gostei da máscara. Olha isso. Isso aí parece de galinha. O famoso galinha, Shinobi, galinha, né? Combina muito. Tem até um emote.
And that's not all. We've got more armor variations coming for the Viking, the Wulin, and the Outlanders. So as we announced earlier this year, we've got.
Vamos lá, as variações de armas. Essas variações de arma aí já não engana ninguém, né, galera? Convenhamos que tem os mesmos 4 sets de armadura desde que lançou o jogo. E eles vão só mudando umas texturazinhas que não muda quase nada.
So shout out to Chengdu. Thanks for all your hard work.
Yeah, they do such a great job, and I know they work with us very closely so that we can get it just right. So
they're really great.
Yes, and so thank you so much for joining me on the Den. Hope you guys enjoyed your first time.
Yes.
Can't wait to have you guys back. And you guys at home, stick around because we're going to be talking gameplay.
Agora sim.
Show me the gameplay.
Vamos lá, show me the gameplay, meu brother.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.
And we've got, I think we've got.
Chegaram, galera, ó, agora
armor variation video. That's right. And then
vai passar um vídeo de variação de armadura e depois já vem o gameplay. Eu, como sempre, vou dar meus pitacos. Essa do Raider, bonita, hein? Gostei do elmo. Gostei do elmo. Nosso vídeo a 10 FPS, o vídeo. Essa do Bárbaro, feia. O Celta ok, né? O Celta não tem como ficar bonito. A Xamã de cara limpa. A Xamã que vai ao shopping aí, ó. Interessante, uma Xamã com cara de mulherzinha. Yomungander igual. Todos Yomungander. Nossa, Valk mega chifruda, velho. Feio também. Warlord. Cara, gostei desse Warlord, hein? Warlord meio parrudão, cheio de armadura. Tianji também, ok, essa armadura aí, achei bonita. Escura, né? Armadura escura, ó, o Shaolin ficou legal também. Shaolin sem parecer um mendigo pedreiro é sempre bem-vindo. A Nuxia tá igual qualquer outra Nuxia. Pra mim tá, sei lá, diferente. Janjun também. Interessante. Isso daí é o que? As dessas temporadas, né? O Zanru Coringa. Pirata, horrível, cara. Horrível. O personagem ridículo esse pirata, velho. Medjay. Medjay ok, né? Bonito. Medjay achei legal. Uma armadura meio cerimonial. A Fira nada com nada, né? Nada com nada essa Fira aí. Tá aí um personagem que queimaram um personagem árabe com a Fira, né, meu? Nada contra a Fira, mas pra mim podia ter um personagem árabe de verdade, não a Fira. Aí o Shinobi Galinhão. Shinobi Galináceo. Pra combinar com a gameplay de muitos Shinobis por aí. E Cavaleiro não tem, não? Cavaleiro é sempre os primeiros? Não tem Cavaleiro. Ah, é porque vai chegar picado. Vai chegar picado, por isso. Não, mas mostrou só o Shinobi e os outros Samurai. Ah, whatever. Quem liga pra essas armaduras feias? Vamos lá agora. Gameplay, galera. Ó, gameplay é o seguinte, hein? Eu vou fazer um vídeo só falando sobre a gameplay. Beleza? Eu vou assistir a gameplay, eu vou comentar o que vier na cabeça aqui, o que eu entender. E aí vocês podem esperar que no meu canal, logo logo eu vou recortar esse vídeo e vou fazer um explicando ali o que eu entendi, beleza?
To have you with us for this next segment here. You learned a ton about the Ocelotl from their background, their history, their art direction, but now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty with the gameplay. And who better to do that than the person joining me on the couch today?
Galera, ajuda aí, deixa o like na transmissão para fortalecer, por favor. Não se esqueçam, clicar no like.
Yeah.
I'm finally here. I know people were calling out for me. I'm finally.
They were worried. They were like,
ritual and everything.
I did, yeah. Yeah, just so you know, that works in the office too. If you
Ih, o microfone de JC morrendo.
Show up at your
Você
desk.
sentou no microfone,
Good job,
JC.
chat. We saw you out there. But also joining us today on the couch for the very first time, we have Daniel and Jimmy, who are from the animation team, here to talk about all the animation stuff. You want to say hi to the chat, to the lovely people at home?
Yeah, hello. I'm super happy to be here with all of you. Warrior 10 is my first one. And yeah, I hope you will like the animation for this hero.
Animador de gameplay.
Hello. Nowadays they call me the cooler Daniel.
Oh.
But usually I go by the name Jimmy. So nice to meet you all. First Warriors Den as well. Very happy to be here.
I love it. Awesome.
Que aquilo? O cara deixou tipo uma barbinha só entre o queixo e a boca?
It's not a gift, but
Ou é uma pega?
We got our mocap weapons ready to fight it off in the studio, but no,
yeah,
not really.
no. Only one animator.
Yeah, you gotta hold it up for the camera. So
yeah, hold it up for the camera.
You gotta see. There you go. Yeah. So this is always fun because again,
arma utilizada na captura de movimento significa que o personagem é totalmente novo com captura de movimento, hein? Sem animações recicladas.
These are the actual mocap props, right? We use in the studio for these. These things are huge, so you get a really good sense of scale. Do you want to maybe tell us a bit what it was like working with these?
Well, what I can say is the first day, even not the first day of the mocap shoot, during the rehearsal, just we broke it.
Yeah,
and the actor just broke it, and then we had to say, oh my god, what we are doing. So we had to come up with a solution for it. And then it was a little fun fact about
we made it work. We made it work.
Yeah, and I think you can see it there.
Was the solution more duct tape?
Yeah,
always.
Now you can see it everywhere.
Always
That's the best solution ever.
So, they'll be fine. Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, well, I think that's great. So yeah, thank you for showing that off. I always think it's really cool to get a little, to see some of that behind the scenes stuff of, that. So thanks for bringing those cool props on.
Sure.
Vamos ver, né? Como ficou essas capturas de movimento. Bom, animações novas, né, cara? A gente vai ter que se acostumar com a, com a animação.
First, we'll talk a little bit about what kind of our pillars were for this hero and stuff, right? So,
Quais são os pilares do jogo,
as most
do
of you
personagem?
warriors and before kind of heard me talk about these things. Whenever we design a hero, we're trying to go with what our pillars are going to be gameplay-wise, right? And so this being like a hunter, a stalker,
Caçador, perseguidor.
but also somebody that we find is like very aggressive and efficient, right? So once you get in, you're efficient, you're aggressive. That's kind of like what we were going for. So that's kind of, we'll see that reflected in the gameplay. That's kind of interesting.
Nice.
But at the same time, what we want to make sure is that like sometimes we make heroes, we don't want to do something that's completely 100% different from everything, because then it makes it too difficult to kind of understand, right? So if we kind of can compare to heroes slow a little bit to other heroes, this hero, as you will see, has an infinite chain. And it's kind of like what we did with Shaolin, where you have to alternate, buttons, but a little bit cranked up.
Just to the end.
Just a little bit cranked up. That's gonna be, it's gonna be really
Parecido com
interesting. And we can
Shaolin.
talk to these wonderful people about animation as well as we go through it. So let's get
Vamos
started.
ver.
Oh man, it's gonna be exciting.
So first of all, yeah, you can see him walk there. Looks really cool. All that cool stuff. Sprinting looks great. Attack over there. So that's
Ataque em
kind of,
corrida.
pretty nice. We're gonna do like a little emo here, right?
Yep.
So first of all, we're gonna do a free-roaming emo. This. Death whistle.
Ah, o apito da morte é um
Just right here down
emote.
you at all times.
Let me do it again so we can have a better view of it. There we go.
Amazing.
This is really, really cool.
Ah, pensei que ia ser um feat.
Super scary.
It sounds great too. I love
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's look at the rest of this hero's attacks, because that's kind of interesting.
Yes.
So as I was mentioning, we kind of have an infinite chain, but it's a little bit different this time, right? Because normally when we have like something like Shaolin, you can do like light to heavy, light to heavy, light to heavy.
Sequência de
That's kind of
leve e
cool.
pesada.
But then we went, how do we take this a step further, right? And so what we came up with is every single option that you typically have. So light, heavy, zone, and bash work everywhere. So I can do light, but I can do light into a bash. I can do light into heavy, into a zone, into a bash, and do all sorts of crazy things.
Você pode apertar
So the
qualquer
rule for chaining for
botão.
this hero is every time you do the same button, or the same type of action twice in a row, right? So if you do light, light, heavy, heavy, bash, bash, zone, zone, you go into a finisher. That's where you stop. The finishers typically are like a little bit stronger. They have like better stuff, so that's kind of interesting. And you can alternate them constantly. And each option that you have has different options. Like they have different properties and where we can go. So it's kind of like pushing some of the stuff we have a little bit more to the extreme and going into that, right? And so
Tá.
what's also
Você pode
interesting
apertar qualquer
is that,
botão para
we
fazer
really built
sequência,
this
tá?
hero to be every single light attack is using the spear, and every single heavy attack uses
Os ataques leves usam a lança,
sometimes it
o
uses the
pesado
club, sometimes it uses
usa o
both at
porrete.
the same time. That's kind of cool there. So I know this this caused not problems, but it's challenging for animation, right? That really have that's different, because it's the first time we have a hero that has two really, really distinct weapons, like real weapons, not like a shield and whatever. We have some characters that have some hero like Peacekeeper that has like a dagger. and a
Depois eu
sword.
vou
They're kinda
explicar tudo, tá,
similar
galera? Eu quero
and
primeiro
not used in the
entender.
same way. So what kind of challenges you guys face when we're working on this?
If I may, if in a way it kind of focused animation, because it was like a very direct way to see like, okay, well, heavy's always going to be the club and light's always going to be the spear. So in a way it focused a lot of our animation work. We were able to immediately discern and immediately make clear the animations were going to be light with the spear and all that. So that was good.
Another thing is that with the spear, we aim to have range, okay, with those pokes and things. And then with the club, we went more for the heaviness, feeling the body weight, feeling that power. And then if we talk about the chain, we went and took advantage of that inertia that the character was having, that momentum he was having. And we made the decision, like, are we making him a spin or not? So... yeah, like that, like you are showing it right now.
Yeah. So sometimes you're spinning, sometimes you're not. It's like
Yes.
to make sure that
normally
feels good
with
there,
the
right?
club is when we spin, because we have a lot of strength, a lot of energy going on, and then with the spear, it's just we go for the range.
All right.
One of the big challenges I find we had for the openers and finishers was to everything chain together. So we had to really make sure that every blend was like perfect for that.
Yeah, the flow of the character was really important because we only had about 3 frames in order to make transitions between the one attack to the other one in chain. So to put all together with the endless possibilities, it was sort of a challenge.
Yeah,
but,
big challenge
yeah,
there, yeah.
we wanted the player to have that feeling that he's never out of the chain.
That's cool, yeah. Because one of the things that, like you're talking about, like having 3 frames for chains and stuff. Like, so if I can explain like in more gameplay terms. So
Yes, of course.
But it's essentially
Rapidinho, galera, rapidinho.
What we're talking about here is that we tried to make sure when we're designing this hero to have almost like a blender-like quality, right?
Deixa eu só tirar isso aqui, mano.
When you're facing an Ocelotl, that you're scared, and to have that sort of pressure and to make sure that you really felt that pressure, we made sure that the chain link timings were as short as possible. So often enough, when you do a light into a heavy, you see it goes very, very, very fast.
Resumindo.
Attack. You can delay them a little bit, of course, right, if you want, but you don't have to. And if you go really, really quick, you get that sense of pressure, of that constant.
Você aperta qualquer botão, qualquer golpe da chain, vai ser tudo em chain. Você só não pode dar 2 vezes o golpe pro mesmo golpe. Tipo, light, aí finaliza. Heavy, finaliza. Agora se ficar light, heavy, zone, heavy, light, heavy, e não repetir, ele não finaliza.
And I also think it's cool, like when you look back and you hear, kind of the narrative aspects of it that Ian and Raph talked about a bit, with this character and the story that was built for him. It really was like you made a very angry boy, right? Like he's very angry, right? And so you feel that a lot in his
There is
attacks,
something
right?
that I always say, is that we have strong words here, strong feelings like fury or rage, wherever, brutal, vengeance. So he has a lot going on inside of him.
Yeah.
And our job is to translate emotions into motion.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like that tagline.
We had in our minds in every single attack, Jim and I, like Annalie, of course, she's not here. But we try to focus on that in order to make him strong. In the anticipation to build that energy, quick releases, and then during the recovery, like he gets again into balance. So
really cool stuff. Awesome. So
all right, so let's keep going a little bit into the hero's like basic kit, right? So like I was saying, every single light, like the neutral lights are 500 ms, like we normally have. Chain lights are all 400 ms. They tag people when you dodge.
Nossa,
you do a heavy
400 ms o chain light.
A lot of pressure there. Light finishers are 400 as well. So if I go light into light, that's 400. I don't think anybody can react to these things. Like we've done some tests with some pro players.
Praticamente o light da chain é irreagível, tá?
So the chain heavies are 700 ms, really, really fast with really quick chain link timing.
700 ms o pesado.
Heavy finishers are unblockable in every single stance. Big swings there.
Os ataques pesados finalizadores são imbloqueáveis.
Effort into like the camera angles and
they are my favorite attacks.
It's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, they look really, really cool, right?
Made it so it was very, very heavy on all fronts.
Yeah, they do feel heavy, even though they're quick. You do feel that a lot of the heaviness. So it's really, really good. And then we have zone attacks, which are always armored. The opener one, like it gains armor a little bit.
Zone ataque com hyper armor.
The chains, you get armor at the first frame. They're a bit slower, but the idea there is like you're in a group fight, whatever. You typically want to use your zone attacks. So making them armor makes you harder to peel. That goes well. Heavy zone finishers as well. Like they switch sides too, so you're not super predictable. Again.
O zone finalizador ele troca o lado, hein? Interessante.
And then we have bashes, right? So. We also have an opener bash, so from front dodge into bash. We go into this.
Opener que é dash para frente. Dá 10 de dano?
Deals direct damage. Never has confirmed damage afterwards, although getting a 400 ms light afterwards.
Mas ele não confirma dano. Ele só dá 10 de dano.
So the neutral bash, pretty simple. 500 ms bash off a front dodge.
É tipo a mãe do Aramuxa.
And we have the chain version that I'm going to go into here, which is slower. Deals direct damage, but is feintable, right? We've been doing a lot of feintable bashes.
Nossa, fintável, cara.
This hero, it's super scary. We've had some players that tested it out a little bit with us, and they're like, yeah, this is really
O bash da chain, ele é mais lento do que o opener, mas ele é fintável.
500 ms deals quite a bit of damage. You have to make a read because you cannot dodge after this if I throw a light. So it's a lot of that pressure that build up there. into going to what am I going to do, what's my opponent going to do, what is the Ocelotl going to do against me, and it's super scary. And with those bashes too, like we have like really unique animations here, like everything's super different. I can go into this one where you do a big pummel strike, finisher.
Dá 18.
There. So,
nossa, o finalizador. Você dá bash, o finalizador dá 22 de dano. E os dois são fintáveis, é isso?
The opener was the right side, and then for the in chain we had the pummel strike from the spear. At a certain point, we're like, these are all pummel strikes. So JC had the great idea of making the scissor move, which I found really great. And it's a really vicious move. You kind of feel like Daniel was saying, the rage of the character through that move.
Se você quiser, cara, você pode dar sequência de 3 bashes, é isso? Ou o outro já vai ser finalizador?
They're all on lights. They don't have massive trajectories. Again, we have to have like some downsides to the hero, but also like it feels really natural to have.
O ataque, dodge ataque dele é, pelo menos não tem iframe, né? Obrigado, família. Tem pouco iframe. É aquele dash ataque básico, só para esquivar de um bash.
One of the things that we really want to feel, because we have all of this, right? We have the feat set that we're also going to talk after afterwards. But one of the core aspects is the hunting, the stalking, right? And so as we were developing the hero more and more and more, we're like, you know, we're kind of missing that aspect a little bit. So we ended up creating a new kind of stalker stance, prowl stance. You access it by holding down on the right stick, and you go into...
Tem uma stance nova.
So when you are in this stance, there's a couple of things. First of all, you can't block. So it's really not meant to be like something defensive.
É a stance do caçador.
It's not super visible, but when you go into it, you get you do get a little bit of dodge range. Kind of like with Nobushi. It's the same timing as Nobushi, so you can dodge attacks with it. So it works quite well. And then the other thing that's interesting here is that you actually walk faster when you are in this stance.
Você anda mais rápido.
For an example, if I'm strafing to the right here, you say the speed I'm going at. But when I'm in that prowl stance, I'm going much faster. Faster front, faster back, faster everything. So the idea here is that we really want people to be able to use this stance to kind of like be, you know, there's a group fight happening. I'm hunting my prey. What am I going to do? And you get there. So when you are in this stance, you have one single attack that you can perform with the heavy button, which is this. So when you perform it, you jump forward
Interessante.
by quite a bit. And if your attack connects, or you can move from really far, you get into a bit of a pin. The club gets embedded in the opponent, slice it off. So really, really good. This acts as a heavy, so you can do your heavy chains afterwards. It's a heavy opener, like you know what we have as a heavy openers. And it's super effective. It's not the best tool in 1v1. I can warn people right away. It's not meant to be used as a 1v1 tool, but it's excellent at peeling, right? So if you're again far in a group fight, you might be off screen. People don't really see you too much. You get into it, and then you see an opening. Boom, you go, you strike. Works super well. It's not feintable or anything, but it's really, so you have to commit to it, but it feels really good.
This happened a lot in tests too, just so people know. You know, we were like testing it out. You'd be just, you know, playing a Dominion game, then suddenly this just Ocelotl comes flying in from off screen.
Você coloca pra baixo, você entra nessa stance, é uma stance que você não pode bloquear golpes. Mas aí você move mais rápido e você tem esse único golpe que é um jump heavy que vai pegar quem estiver vacilando lá.
The character is a little bit low, we can say that. And he's not static in that stance. So, which means we had to go to mocap and record a whole navigation like that. The mocap actors did an amazing job. So, shout out. They did amazing. And back and legs, I would say. So
he's gonna be feeling it for sure.
So
I remember we shot it on I think on a Monday. And the Tuesday, the guys came back in, and they like you saw they were hurting. It was obvious. They're very, very professionally trained, like stuntmen. They're amazing. They're really, really good people. They're doing an amazing job. It's still very, very like it's hard.
An amazing job there.
Was it tough to go and convince the mocap actors? Like, hey, so we just kind of need you to crouch for the next.
Achei legal o balanço das penas na cabeça.
Can we repeat this, please?
Do it again. Crouch better, you know.
We can always modify it, like with more software.
É isso. Esse jump heavy aí, ele é um inicializador, né? É um inicializador, então. Se alguém garantir ele, dá pra garantir ele, e aí dele você já dá um bash, se não me engano.
And it was the range that he's covering there. So the challenge was to keep it not cartoony, right?
Vai pegar longe, vai pegar longe.
To make it realistic, and as much as it fits the For Honor universe.
Yeah. And so one thing that people that you haven't been at mocap, it's kind of interesting to kind of talk about. Whenever we actually do mocap, when we do navigation, we call navigation when you're moving around. Like we're asking the actors or stuntmen to really go and they have to walk, run in different directions, do figure eights, all sorts of stuff, so we can get every single movement, how the legs are placed, how that stuff works. So it's a lot of work, it's a lot of stuff, but it ends up looking amazing. So yeah, I think you're super hyped.
Yeah, you absolutely see it in the final results. The end product here is incredible.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So we've looked at this. Let's look at executions right now. Right.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
É isso, personagem é isso.
Before, I'm gonna do it again.
Go ahead.
Do it again.
Yeah. Right. So
É isso, galera.
do it, and then again, it counts as an opener. I can lock in, go back to every finish.
Eu só queria ver, ele falou que muda, né? O Heavy finalizador é imbloqueável e o Light finalizador e o Zone finalizador. O Zone tem Hyper Armor, né?
It's rough.
I don't know how the actors did it.
Okay, so
o Bash finalizador é fintável.
Yes.
Eu não vi nada falando de Recover Cancel, o que pra mim é ótimo.
Yeah, I think quick settings and then you go there.
Ó, os caras, não sei jogar, não sei jogar.
Alright, okay. So, we're gonna look at executions, right? So I'm gonna go.
Really just demonstrate the blender. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
vamos lá. Primeira execução.
Club.
Ok.
So good.
Get them off. Pretty brutal, looks pretty cool. Respawn. Okay, so let's do this again. We're gonna go through all 4 of them, so.
Você vê que. Mas aí fica a pergunta: um dash ataque acaba com essa sequência aí? Ah, esse aí tá da hora, hein? Ó.
Daniel special.
Right, so clearly, right now we're on stream, so we
cannot
skip
show
the blood and stuff. We don't show the blood, but it's quite bloody.
When you see it in game, it's
something.
Galera, quem não deixou o like aí na transmissão, ajuda eu aí, hein? Clica no like aí que não custa nada. Vamos ver. Simplesão, né? Ok, eu gosto de execução simples. Vamos ver se agora ele arranca o coração. Que arrancar o coração é bem brutal, né? Comparado com algumas da Xamã aí.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
Fall right on the spear, right?
That's my personal favorite.
That's what we did at mocap, right? We had one guy jump like that and fall into the spear and
we lost an actor that day. It was really sad.
But I mean,
but we got the shot.
We got the shot.
O cara tomou uma dedada pra pular daquele jeito ali.
So let's prep quickly to go into showing what the feats are.
Os feats. Vamos ver os feats.
It's nuts. And that's again, it's incredible. I gotta say, just to back to the work the team did, and because this was a big team effort to get all this animation work in. I know you two were like the lead animator.
Tá sem sangue por causa da transmissão do YouTube, será? Vai saber, né?
Really worked hard on the animations, the audio, the effects.
No jogo com certeza vai ter bastante sangue.
So good, like the work was incredible.
Everyone did their part, and it shows, man. GD side, animation side, sound, everything.
For sure. At some point with the feeds, UI,
so we'll see through the feeds when we go through them, right? But the first feed in particular, it was a massive joint effort from VFX people, code, game design, everything. It's a lot of stuff. It was a complicated thing to do, but I think the results speak for themselves. It's really
we're gonna
cool.
see it.
Big shout outs here, also to the game design team, my team. With Noel and Costa, they're 2 amazing game designers. They worked super hard on the hero. It's always a team effort, right? We always work all the way together. But they were in charge of the hero, and making sure everything there was good. So,
and y'all did amazing.
Oh yeah,
it's a big.
Estão carregando o modo domínio lá, 1 hora para carregar o modo domínio para mostrar os feats. Domínio não, eliminação, né? Acho, sei lá.
Okay, so this is what's going on, right? So as you see, 4 feats. First feat are passive.
Vamos lá, 4 feats. Primeiro é passivo.
Go for the first one because I think it's the crazier one, right? So, Jimmy, if you wouldn't mind killing me, please.
By the way, chat, if you're not sitting down, now's a good time. Sit down. If you're in a car, buckle up. If you can just find a seatbelt anywhere, just, yeah, give it.
Just not executing and
right.
Okay, so not, oh no, I died. Happening.
Oh no.
Oops,
oh,
I
man.
respawned. So this is what the feed does, right? So whenever you die and you're not executed, or you don't die from like traps or get ledged or whatever, you get back up in spirit form. You can run around the map, go anywhere you want, and respawn wherever you'd like, as long as you're not too close to enemies or allies, or in ladders. You can run around, you can go up ladders if you'd like. Let me just go here, right? Go up a ladder.
You're faster.
You're also
Cara, que doideira, velho.
There's a bit of animation there. I can go here. Oh, yeah. It looks good here. Respawn here. Right?
Nossa, mano, que loucura.
Really, really cool stuff. So,
que doideira o primeiro feat desse cara, mano. Isso vai quebrar o jogo. É isso. Quero ver isso no competitivo, cara, essa palhaçada aí. Quanto tempo será que tem pra encher a vida? Ó, vamos contar aí, vai. Ó, vamos lá, contando. Não tem cooldown toda vez que você morrer. Mas você pode correr pra base e desabalar o time. Você corre pra base e desabala o time. Ou corre pro mid, limpa os minions. Meu, que loucura, cara. Velho, isso vai quebrar o jogo.
We had versions where you were at full health and you got back up.
Oh, I remember those days.
Right?
Remember those days.
Nossa, pra feat número 1, cara, você pode fazer isso desde o começo. É, 30 segundos aí, vai. 40 segundos pra você encher sua vida. 40 segundos pra encher a vida. Cara, encher a vida não vale a pena. Mas pra você pegar uma área... Porque se você pega uma área e fica enchendo sua vida, você vai encher a vida.
And it's super good, so, right? So if whenever you get killed or whatever, you can go, you can back cap, you can look at the battlefield, see what's going on. Maybe spawn, you see a group fight, like, okay, I'm gonna go help my ally, you go respawn a little bit out of it.
Cara, imagina o seguinte, você morreu, seu time tá abalado. Você corre, sai da teamfight, vai lá na base inimiga, pega a base dele. Você desabala, você vai se curar porque você pegou a base, até os caras chegar lá.
Cannot see you.
Yeah, right. Like if you wanna, like you can do it again. Actually, I'll
please kill me.
Ah, os oponentes não podem ver?
It's a brutal stream today, guys.
Nossa, velho, o oponente não pode ver. Você nem vai saber que o cara tá pegando a base. Vamos ver, vamos ver. Olha lá. Você nem vê, mano. Você nem vê, ó. O cara tá indo pra base lá, ó. Vamos ver que base que ele vai pegar.
Jimmy's somewhere. I have no idea where.
Não, aí não, velho. Não, time. Ô, você está louco de fazer um negócio desse? Você vai quebrar o modo objetivo. Olha lá, o cara tá pegando a A lá, ó. Você só vê a A foi pega. Ó, ele já pega e já vai se rilando. É diferente, é legal assim, mas... Eu acho que você devia pelo menos ver ele. Porque aí você fala, não, ó, ele tá indo lá pra base pegar, tá ligado? Pelo menos ver. Mano, sem noção. Sem noção. Agora imagina você respawna na sua base, onde você meio que já vai se curar.
Right? So
I like it. I like it.
Doideira,
change the name.
Right? Yeah. So what it does is when you actually kill an Ocelotl, here. So you see on top of my head, I have a little marker, and I also have a buff and a debuff. The buff is for the 3rd feat, but the debuff is on me. So essentially, when you kill an Ocelotl, you get revealed on the map, and you get a defense debuff for I think it's 15 seconds. So it's not really necessarily like a buff for your opponent that they're going to be able to see you, the one you killed specifically, but it's also to kind of like deter people from focusing on this hero too much. Because if you end up killing an Ocelotl in a group fight, you're probably gonna die afterwards.
Tá, se você mata um Ocelotl e ele tem esse segundo feat ativado, você que matou ele ganha um debuff e você ganha aquele olhinho do Shaolin lá na cabeça.
What happens when you kill an Ocelotl and what happens when you get killed as an Ocelotl.
Nice, nice.
And so the next one, when I kill any hero, right here, I'm gonna do here. So third feat activates. So the third feat is whenever you kill an enemy, execution, whatever, you gain a speed increase and an attack buff. So again, it's like
você ganha velocidade e um buff de ataque. De quanto?
So again, with that life and death stuff, you manage to kill your prey. You get pumped up. You go, yeah, all right, cool. I'm gonna be able to do more stuff, and you kill more people. So that's really, really good. Again, short cooldowns on those are passive. They pretty much trigger every single time you either die or you kill somebody. That works really, really well.
Nice.
And then last but not least is
Vamos ver.
So
O último feat.
We tried to do something a little bit different here. Vanessa, when we started working on this hero, the legendary Vanessa, really wanted to go, you know what? We have like this big spear. I want to throw it and bring people back to me, right?
Sure, yeah.
So what do we do here? We throw the spear, get the opponent back to you.
Ah, meteu Scorpion.
So like Jimmy's gonna perish, unfortunately, but it's okay.
Due to the other fact of that.
What happens is when you throw that spear, the cooldown also we're on like super fast feet, so don't worry about it. The cooldown, this is not the actual.
It's okay, chat. It's okay.
Nossa, olha o carregamento, olha o carregamento. Ah, tá, não, é porque aí tá. É porque aí tá pra carregar rápido, né? Creio eu, não é possível que o cooldown seja tão baixo.
And then you get into a guard break position, which means you can throw somebody, or you get another free heavy afterwards. But when I say throw somebody, you know, you can kind of. Oh no, there's a ledge here. What's gonna
where
happen?
can you throw somebody?
You're gonna see where the.
Eu tô achando que isso é a velocidade normal do feat, hein?
He's not gonna die before I throw him, I think. So let's do this.
Vamos lá. Jogou o Scorpion.
Oops, there's a ledge. Oops.
Nossa, mas ele não joga muito longe não, hein?
Not every single time, but it works. So you have to be careful. You have to be really close to the ledges. But that's the type of thing you can expect, right? So you can use it to do a lot of different things. If there's any
não deu muito certo a demonstração aí não.
Like once you've hit them, if you pull them towards you, they're gonna get stopped. So you can't just like pull somebody through allies or enemies or whatever. So you still have to be careful when you use it.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. It's a projectile. So again, in group.
Cara, é muito rápido isso. Se é que esse é o respawn correto, né? Não tá acelerado para eles demonstrarem.
And was that tough to do for y'all? Like kind of like you forcing them and dragging and like.
Right. Well,
was that a little tough?
That feat wasn't an easy feat.
Right. Yeah.
So we had a precedent before
É,
with
mano,
other characters
pra
to do sort of
quarto
grappling
feat.
thing. So we based ourselves of that.
É que assim, ó, se o respawn fica muito rápido, ele fica quebrado, que você pode usar toda hora.
We used a similar system with the graps where we had first an animation.
Mas não é forte.
Itself. Then we needed a loop for the target to reach the opponent. Once that loop was done, we also needed another animation for the drawback. And after that, we branched into the guard break, which was an addition we did by the end of this.
He got it!
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah. So all these systems work together.
Dá 24 de dano, será? De bleed?
Yeah, this is a pretty technical side of it. Animation-wise,
24 de dano, mais um heavy de 26 vai dar uns 50 de dano. É o dano do Mazagaia. A questão é se ele recarrega com essa facilidade aí, cara. Porque você pode usar ele praticamente em toda luta se ele carrega tão rápido assim.
Oh boy, that's a lot. That's a lot for the Ocelotl. It's a lot. Yeah, and I think just to kind of summarize there, if I can, sum up my key takeaways of don't kill one, don't get killed by one, and if you see one, just run because they're coming for you. Okay, the Ocelots are coming for you, and they will kill you. So. Yeah. It's good. They're terrifying. You made a terrifying hero. Noel, you made a terrifying hero.
É esse é o novo personagem.
They're so much fun.
No final eu vou dar um resumão de tudo, tá, galera?
So, I mean, like honestly, big props to everybody involved. like especially the first feat involved a lot of people from a lot of
work.
disciplines.
Yeah, a lot of work.
It's a lot more work than we typically do for a feat, especially a feat one. But like kudos to everybody, like the GPP team, like our programmers, game design team, animation team, VFX team, art team, everything. It was disaster to make, but in the end the result is completely amazing. Super excited about it. So really good. And again, thanks to you guys. You did an amazing job on the animations and stuff. Like it's spectacular. They look great. Like one of the things I really like just this, right? That top light finisher looks so cool.
Oh yeah,
the way
that was all you.
Yeah.
That was all you.
No,
we'll share the credit. You know.
Okay, we'll share it.
So there's a lot of really cool looking stuff there. So like really amazing job. And so I don't know if you guys have any closing thoughts for the animation team here.
Thank you to my team for all the feedback. That's why we came up with this.
Yeah.
And
support we got from the animation team and the
Vanessa
TV side
Amélie
too. Vanessa, Amélie.
You're the best.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. Then.
Tudo bem, então agradecendo o time, falando muito obrigado, valeu aí, trabalhamos duro pra fazer esse personagem, esse feat roubado aí, primeiro feat.
So what do we got? July 27th, so next week. Just as a reminder, if you want to play all of this awesome stuff for yourself, next week, all right?
Lembrando, o personagem sai semana que vem, quinta-feira, normalmente 1h. E depois, 2 semanas depois, ele fica disponível para ser comprado com dinheiro do joguinho. Vamos ver o patch notes.
Oh, you got the sunglasses on. Dan in the cooler.
Nerf Medjai.
Ready to head out for the day? So cool. Thanks everybody again. So don't go nowhere. Stick around. We'll talk patch notes next. All right.
Vamos lá. Patch notes. Também é uma parte muito importante. A velha história, né? Os caras lançam personagem quebrado pra ter esse trabalho depois, pra ter o que fazer depois. Vamos ver o que tem nesse patch notes aí de relevante ao jogo. Pra quem tinha dúvida aí, lá o Bringer, tá? Esquece. É bom que não venha, né? Aquele rework nada a ver do Lawbringer lá. Talvez venha da Nuxia, hein? Talvez venha da Nuxia. Ou da Nuxia. Acho que já veio, né? Não, a bichinha é tão irrelevante que eu até esqueci. Acho que já veio já, velho, o rework da Nuxia. Rework não, né? Os upgrades dela lá. Vamos lá, galera, ó, no finalzinho aqui eu vou fazer um resumo, tá? Um resumo ali da live. E aí, se vocês tiverem dúvidas, vocês podem fazer no final da live, que aí eu paro pra ficar respondendo só as dúvidas de vocês, beleza? Tudo que vocês quiserem comentar aí, a gente troca ideia. Demorado, né?
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. We're going to go into some patch notes next with JC, who's still with us on the couch. But, you know, just quickly before we dive into that, you know, as we're transitioning here, we sometimes take a peek at the chat. And I think JC just wanted to say something a little extra.
So, yeah, one thing I want to, like, try to make it a little bit clearer, because it might not have been clear. So, thanks, chat, for pointing that out. But essentially, the Ocelotl's first feat, is every time you die, you get back into that form. You cannot choose to respawn at your spawn point, and the big trade-off when you're using it is that your respawn times will be longer.
Yeah.
Because as you get up, like as you saw, the health starts really low. If you want to get back at full health, you have to wait like a very, very long time to really get back to full health. So yes, it's strong, but you cannot choose when that feat triggers. You can only choose
ele tá explicando aqui.
but you don't get to choose, oh, I'm going to use it this time or not using that time or whatever. So
isso é interessante.
there's a definite trade-off. Yes, it's a feat one. Yes, it looks like it's insanely strong.
Eu vou explicar isso que ele falou agora, que é bem relevante, cara. Tipo assim, você não escolhe quando você renasce com aquele feat do bichão. Então você sempre vai ter um respawn muito mais longo para voltar full life. Então ele é roubado por um lado, mas ele é ruim pelo outro. Porque se você for esperar para respawnar full life, você tá ferrado. Porque você tem que esperar muito tempo. É isso.
I think just trust us when I say, like we watch this stuff closely, and again, it's gonna change some things, the way you think about how you play in different things, but like there's a lot of balancing that goes into it too. So just you try it out for yourselves next week, you'll see. So all right. So let's dive into some patch notes, because that was a very heavy segment too. So let's maybe bring it down to a little more chill.
Right.
So we got a few patch notes to talk about for next week.
So I just want to start this off first with saying that like these are not super beefy patch notes. We've been extremely busy recently with the release of the hero.
Doing what? Oh, the hero. Right.
Ele tá explicando que o patch notes não vai ter bosta nenhuma porque ele estava muito ocupado lançando o herói.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. So these might not look like huge patch notes, but rest assured, we're still doing a lot of balancing. We're still doing a lot of stuff. I think we have a bit more in store for the next season, but for right now, like it's not massive, but still stuff that we feel we need to address right now. Make sure that things are good. But yeah, don't worry, we're still doing stuff. I don't want people to start thinking, oh, they're gonna stop doing balancing. Not the case at all. Okay, so let's go. First up, we have, if this works, because it doesn't seem like it's working.
Right there.
Okay. So Jormungandr. So basically two changes for Jormungandr, but
tiraram o buff que tinham dado.
Jotun Farewell and Hammerslam are a little bit overtuned in some situations. Initially, we were feeling that like Jotun Farewell, which is the bash that you perform when you're in chains, we were comfortable with the fact that it chained on miss, specifically because it only chained into the chain zone.
Right.
And even though it's
o bash dele, se errar agora, não conecta mais nada.
So we're like, okay, it's okay. But then a lot of expectations from players were, and rightfully so, right? You're doing this move. When it does land, you get 30 damage, right? So the risk-reward proposition here was so heavily skewed into Yorm's favor that it kind of didn't really make a lot of sense. And so, yeah, it feels good when you're doing it, but it needed to be toned down a little bit so that we're like, okay, we're in a good position. We have, like, it's a lot more balanced. And we also felt that we're like, okay, well,
a questão é a seguinte, a porrada no joelho do Jormungandr, quem joga sabe, não tinha por que você não esquivar dela. Porque tudo que ele fizesse pra te punir se você esquivasse, seria melhor do que você tomar os 30 de dano da martelada que ele te dá. Então agora diminuiu pra 26 de dano. É isso.
This might feel like a massive nerf, but let me tell you something.
Tell me.
If you're trying to do side dodge into guard break, you leave yourself vulnerable to feint into guard break from Yorm. So you still have to make that choice. It's still risky, and it's still riskier for the opponent, right? There's still a bit more risk for the opponents, but if there's a correct read, then they can actually get a guard break and deal 24 damage to you. So it's kind of like on average. So that's kind of like the idea here, right? So because it's feintable, because there's all these things going on, it's okay. And then before, because you could zone afterwards, you couldn't really ever do, I say, dodge to guard break. Unless you did like a super crazy early dodge and it was like really particular. So in this case, like with this, it's more balanced. And on top of this, Hammerslam now deals 26 damage, down from 30. So in this case, it's if Yorm gets the correct read, lands the bash, he gets 26 damage. If your opponent gets the correct read, they get either a dodge attack or potentially a guard break into generally 24. So the risk-reward proposition here is a lot different. It's less skewed toward Yorm. Typically, we've been doing a lot of stuff where aggression is very, very, very heavily rewarded. And so this is a bit of a nerf in this case. Should feel a bit better to play against. We've seen a lot of comments, a lot of feedback about this.
É isso. É um nerfzinho aí no Yomungander, tá?
Right, so, yeah,
Marretada diminuiu, e se você errar o bash, você não dá mais um heavy no cara. Então, tipo assim, você errou o bash, o cara esquivou, ele te dá guard break.
So, we're aware, I'm just gonna start, that there's a problem with tracking on Centurion when you do a light into a fully charged jab, and then you can sometimes like double dodge it or like all sorts of stuff. And if the answer was as simple as somebody on the team, including me, clicking something and it worked, we would have done it. Unfortunately, it's a tricky proposition. The way the move is built is different from other chargeable bashes. And because of that, it's a lot trickier. We're going to require animation. We're going to require a lot of different things to really flesh it out properly. So it's taking a bit more time than we wanted to fix it. So that's... I just want to make sure that I get it clear for players. It's not that we're not aware. It's not that we don't want to fix it. It's that it's...
Assim, ele tá falando que é muito difícil arrumar o soco carregado do Centurião para ficar bom. Então eles vão, tipo, botar um Durex e vão dar uma Hyper Armor, né, distância ininterrupta mais rápido.
Now you might be going, what does that change, right? Well, it does change something quite a bit, actually, which is Centurion, like other heroes, when you did a light attack into a charged jab, that's the case when you took here, for example, you could get lighted out of the charged jab, right? Because the armor, like the uninterruptible sense, kicked in at 200 ms. Now that it kicks in at 100, if you go light into fully charged jab, your opponent just cannot light you out of it ever. So they actually do have to respect what you're going to be doing a little bit better. It's still commit full. You still have to commit to the attack. You still have to get into it. But at least you're a bit safer when you do it, which is a big part of what we're doing here for Cent. It makes a lot of sense as we go.
Então, tipo assim, se você fosse carregar o jab do Centurião, não sei porque chamam de jab, porque aquilo não é um jab, mas enfim, se você ia carregar o soco do Centurião, o cara dava um light attack e te interrompia. Agora não vai dar mais pra fazer isso.
It's my girl.
Right, it's your girl, right?
I love her so much.
Bom, fizeram alguma coisa finalmente com o Caltrops, que é os cocôzinhos que a Nuxia joga no chão. Ele demora mais tempo agora para respawnar, né? Antes era 45 segundos, agora dobrou 90 segundos o cooldown dele. E ele dura só 15 segundos, antigamente era 25 segundos. Cara, justíssimo, porque convenhamos que esse feat, eu acho que é um dos feats mais quebrados do jogo. Porque ele é um segundo feat, ela joga aquele diabo na base, fica dando um dano fudido em todo mundo que pisa. Então agora vai demorar muito mais tempo para carregar e vai durar só 15 segundos. É um baita de um nerf, mas ao meu ver merecido o nerf. Não sei se merecido nessa proporção, tá?
Caltrops, which was I'm not biased or anything, but I think it was by far the best feat in the game. It beats out Corruption even as a tier 1, beats out Fire Flask, beats out like Spear Storm, like all sorts of crazy feats. This beat them. Partially, pretty much because the cooldown on it was extremely short, and the uptime was also extremely long, right? So 25 seconds uptime.
Ele tá explicando até agora o que eu já falei pra vocês aí de forma resumida, tá?
Which means that Nusha could go into the lane and just drop Caltrops, destroy the entire lane, wait 20 seconds, drop and in those 20 seconds, more minions came, dropped Caltrops again, cleared out the whole lane again, right? She was a monster, but
se você fosse pensar, 40 segundos do feat é muito pouco tempo mesmo. E ele durava 25 segundos, é bem absurdo. Mas todo mundo sabia que esse feat é roubado, né?
High on our priority list because the hero was underperforming herself, so we wanted to make sure that we buffed her up before we ended up nerfing some of the more like unhealthy parts of her kit. So with this, we've nerfed Caltrops significantly, but you'll see how it works. So basically now her cooldown for Caltrop is 90 seconds, so it's instead of 45, so it's doubled. We doubled the cooldown, and it's now active for 15 seconds instead of 25. You can still go into the lane and drop it. We haven't touched the damage. We haven't touched the radius. We haven't touched like any of those other parts of the feat. We really just worked on her cooldown and how long it's active for. So this way, you can still go use it like you were using it before. You just can't use it as often as you did before.
Muito bem.
You're tough but fair.
I'm tough but
You're
fair.
tough
right?
but
That's,
fair. All right,
that's how it
see
goes.
this.
Nível
We need to,
próximo.
like, really make sure that this is more balanced.
Yeah.
It's been a comment we've been.
Eles estão chovendo molhado há muito
Right,
tempo pra explicar um
right.
negócio
All the time.
simples.
It's true.
And I
Todo mundo
remember
que
we
joga
had some
sabe que esse feat
discussions,
é um
like,
lixo.
ongoing with some players, and when we did the Nusha testing grounds with the improved traps, their number one worry was, oh my god, Caltrop. Oh my god, Caltrop. Oh my god, Caltrop. Right? I kept getting messages from a bunch of people about this, and I get it, right? We wanted to give her like at least one season, like one TU, to kind of get into the groove. But now that we're there, it's time to.
It was a beautiful TU.
Yeah, it was a beautiful TU. It had to come to an end. So that's pretty much it in terms of balancing for the patch notes, right? So as I said, it's not the biggest patch notes.
Só isso?
There.
Só isso? Porra! E o Medjay ainda continua chutando o rabo de todo mundo nas teamfights.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And so, speaking of testing grounds, right?
Right.
So
good segue. I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
So we had our last testing grounds that ended a little bit ago. I don't remember.
A couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Time is a blur right now.
It's busy. It's just busy.
So we were testing Lawbringer, the second iteration of Lawbringer.
Tá falando aí dos testing grounds que teve, né?
Right.
Que eles
so I want
estão.
to talk specifically about bash speeds because Lawbringer is another subject that we'll talk about like at a different time. But first, bash speed specifically, I want to thank everybody for participating. Did an amazing job. We got a lot of data. We got some information from like some people in the community.
Falando que o Lawbringer vai ficar pra depois mesmo. Como já havia adiantado.
Amazing players. We have a good idea of what speeds bashes should be from front dodge, so that's great. However, we will be taking a little bit more time than what people might expect to push it to live, just because we need to make sure that what the impacts of this are going
Com relação aos times de bash que teve no testing grounds, ele está falando que teve já um feedback, tem ideia do que fazer, mas vai demorar mais tempo para implementar.
But then there's other impacts, right? There's impacts to potential impacts to ganking, to frame advantage, to a bunch of different things. So now that we know kind of what speeds are optimal. And it turns out it's pretty much the same for everybody, so that's great.
That's good.
We were really hoping, like we were really looking into like if there's different options, is there a different impact on a lot of these things? And the answer ends up being pretty much no. So while we do have the number, the knock-on effects that this has means that we have to investigate a bit further, go deeper into it, and go what happens on like dodge cancel characters, for example, that go into a front dodge bash. Is stuff going to be guaranteed? What's going to be happening there? So we want to take our time a little bit to really investigate. Go deeper into this. So it means it's going to take a little bit longer than everybody would have hoped. But I think it's in absolutely everyone's best interest to just wait a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so that we can release something that's going to be better for the entire community.
Sure.
And we can go with there.
Totally makes sense. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Nice.
Vamos lá, que mais?
We had one more thing.
Yeah,
right?
Mais uma coisa, vamos ver.
Like, it's not that
But
one
it's
more
cool.
thing, yeah, but it's super cool, right?
It's cool though. Yeah.
So we're also adding a new quality of life thing, a little option when you're finishing matches and you get a lot of loot. So I know Max has a little video. So you can now tag multiple items when you are in the screen and then dismantle them all at once.
Desmontar os itens que você ganha logo depois do negócio.
All that thing, I'm happy because I'm not
Logo depois da partida.
Yeah.
Para não ficar com o inventário cheio.
That works really, really well. So kudos to like the UI team because that's always worked for them, and they're always swamped. So that's great. So really good job there for.
Tá bom, útil, né? Mas
so we're really happy, and then
meio irrelevante.
Some little improvements here and there.
Awesome, amazing. Well, great. Yeah, I mean, short and sweet, but again, some really good quality of life stuff.
Bom, é isso. Galera, eles vão ver ali o wrap-up, que é o fim da live, e eu já vou voltar assim que eles encerrar a live para explicar resumidamente tudo que nós tivemos aí na live de hoje, certo? Vou deixar eles passar aí, a hora que ele encerrar a live, porque só posso ficar voltando na hora que eles encerram. Então, aguarda aí. Quem chegou agora e quer saber o resumo, eu já vou passar tudo. Quem tiver dúvida para falar no chat aí também, tá? Pode guardar a dúvida que daqui a pouco vocês mandam. Então é isso daí. Vamos lá. Esse wrap-up aqui, eles botam uns emote, uns bagulho nada a ver, né? Cara, acho que nem precisa ver isso aqui. Bom, tudo bem, eu tô fazendo a transmissão inteira, né, Adriano? Vamos fazer a transmissão inteira, então. Mas, importante, tá? Importante dizer que... O que nós tivemos aí? Não vou dar resumo antes da hora, não. Deixa acabar a live, vai.
I hope you guys
tô
are
ansioso.
hyped as we are for the new Ocelotl. I'm super here for it. But we...
No, please.
You.
I'm sorry.
It's good to be back with you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, Brian. For sure.
Real quick, I forgot something. It was Gabrielle's birthday. I forgot to say it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, sir.
Yeah. Get some birthdays in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll show them later. But yeah, reminder: the new hero comes out on the 27th. And that's for the cash money swag.
That's right.
And then 2 weeks later, available for 15k steel.
Steel. Cool. And we'll also have a free event pass. So just a reminder of that: the Hunt of the Ocelotl, which will be running from July 27th to August 17th. So again, those are free. You just play and earn awesome rewards for those. So just make sure you're logging on starting next week and play. Yeah, lots of fun stuff there. It's gonna be great.
I love the realization on this hero.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could just take a moment, I just want to mention the camera. I saw some people talking in the art direction about like how good it looks. Because trust me, you could go in blindly and just randomly select stuff from the armors and the colors and the material, and it'll look amazing.
You can absolutely Mad Lib the fashion.
Yeah,
and it all looks good. It all blends well.
Yeah.
So. Warmonger might finally have a rival in the fashion department.
We'll see. For fashion, we're counting on you for fashion. So there you go.
Yeah, looking at you, newbie. I think we talked about the event pass. So I think it's time to go into community spotlight. Let's look at some videos. Look at some
Coisas da comunidade.
I haven't seen these yet.
Yeah, we made sure Nolan didn't see these.
I like to go in blind on these. They're so much fun.
Yeah. All right, so first up, we've got add more
highlights do Facebook.
And you'll see why. I mean, we
got Lawbringer, so anytime he's on screen, I'm happy about it.
I always love it when this does that.
Oh, good lord.
And then I loved this variation on a popular meme. Just parry this, you filthy casual.
It's so good art.
I want a shoulder-mounted trebuchet. And then this is using the whole of your brain.
What?
That's right, new animation tech, and I did an instant replay.
That was awesome.
Get emoted. And then we always have that one teammate, right? So I was overjoyed to see it put into art.
Yeah, that was really good too.
And then it's the final brain cell. And there it is.
Oh, I love our community so much. That's amazing.
Yeah, so those are some of our top picks from the last month. If you want to have a chance at getting your content featured on the Den, put it on the Reddit and or Twitter or Instagram, and tag us in it.
All the places.
Yeah, because we look at all of them.
Yeah, it's great.
But we've got some more stuff coming up. We've got
retrofits, right?
Because
we talked about
aqueles...
the Hitakiri event coming back. So guess what?
Aquelas roupinhas feias.
All the fan favorite content that we had during that last event. So it's going to be retrofit for all the heroes coming up. So we have the emote Shadows of the Hitakiri for 10k steel. You're also going to be able to loot the Secrets of Kaiden battle outfit.
15k nesses negócios feios.
Kaiden ornament, which is awesome, and the Spirits of Kaiden mood effect. So all
which is a
really
great
cool.
one.
I know it's good. It's subtle, but like it goes with a lot of the things in the customization. So.
Oh yeah, I've seen some great like air motion
20k nisso daí, cara.
Super good.
And of course, the Shinigami's Oath illustrious outfit is going to be retrofit and available for 20k steel. That's an amazing one too. I love the Shinigami effect behind the player. It's so good.
Yeah, really big come at me, bro energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And then coming up, we've got a trio of Hero Fests. Planned. So we've got
Hero Fest. Eu tenho um seguidor lá no Twitch que ele adora os Hero Fest, cara. Ele fica esperando sempre chegar os Hero Fest dos heróis que ele gosta. Então você que é assim como ele, vai ter aí, ó, Hero Fest da PK.
And then if you log in, you get 2 free symbols.
That's always good.
Bump up your
Hero
symbols
Fest
game.
do
And then we
Raider.
got Raider Legendary.
So good.
E
And
Hero
last but not
Fest do
least-
Medjay, não, velho. Ninguém quer mais Medjay
Yeah.
nos lobbies, não, pelo amor de
Hero
Deus.
Fest, it's happening.
Yeah. I can't wait to see Medjay's unique that comes with that. How you gonna slay?
I've seen it. It's cool. I
Which is
won't
great,
spoil it.
because
but
just the other day I
cool.
saw somebody saying Medjay needs more executions. So there you go.
So to that one person, we heard you, I guess, and you're welcome. So there's that. Yeah.
Yep.
Just same wavelength.
Yeah. And then we got some content of the week.
Yes.
So we've got an execution.
Olha aí, a
Chimeras
execução.
Retribution.
Right, because it's Griffin's Hero Fest.
Chimeras Execution.
Yeah.
Olha que bonita.
That's why he gets
Yeah,
to.
I'll choose to believe you on that.
Yeah. And then also starting next week with the launch of the season, July 27th.
Quem
new
quiser ter a
Resumão
sua
chapter,
própria
Majestic
jaguatirica
Jungle,
aí,
and
ó.
there's nothing more majestic than that kitty cat. It's really cute. I want to pet it. So that'll be available for 20K still. And also a new execution, the Blow Dart Barrage.
So those of you in chat who are like, I saw a blow dart in the trailer. Yeah, we
Right
didn't
there.
forget about it.
3 darts is too much. All right, that's
Yeah,
deep.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
deep.
Dart your friends.
There you go.
And your enemies.
I'm so glad.
And
Glad
then
you changed that.
yeah,
Okay.
Oh yeah. And then you may notice like a teaser behind me. But yeah, we've got a summer chair emote coming up. This will be 10K steel. So sun's out, fun's out. Get your free roam emote, chill. You know,
esse é um
or,
emote
like,
bom.
motion for garçom to bring you a little umbrella drink. You know, soak up some rays. It's perfect for just in time for summer. So this will be here on August 3rd. And we may or may not be doing a thing with Larry. Larry might have, yeah, we might have gone to the beach with Larry again.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So keep an eye on the social medias for all of that. And then I believe there's more.
There is more, yes. But wait, there's more. We also have a new arcade quest going on. Down the Rabbit Hole. It's a weekly quest available for all Marching Fire owners, so you can play that starting today.
Olha só, missões do modo arcade,
Again,
cara.
on event order, the Medic Challenge. At the end of the challenge, be the faction with the most allies revived. Also starting tomorrow. No, sorry, on Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. I know what day it is.
Yeah.
Rehearsal day, the rest of this. I know what day it is, people. Don't worry.
Down Rabbit Hole, aka opening Reddit.
This is that's also that's fair. That's fair. So but yeah, so be out there, revive your friends, your allies, or even just
Muito bem, meus amigos, esse é o fim da Warriors Den. Chega, já falaram demais. Então vamos lá, o que a gente teve de útil, tá? Eu vou voltar aqui manualmente e agora vocês vão ver o resumo da Warriors Den. Para começar o resumo, nós tivemos aqui uma grande mudança, isso é muito importante para todos aqueles que jogam nos consoles. Por quê? Finalmente nós teremos aí um modo desempenho. Modo desempenho nos consoles. Deixa eu só achar aonde está a tabela, porque eles passaram tão rápido essa tabela. Eu tenho ela aqui, tio Guila, obrigado por ter me enviado no WhatsApp. Tá aqui, Performance Mode. Mas eu preciso colocar na tela para vocês verem. Aqui, pronto. Vamos lá, primeira grande mudança que vai mudar muito, tá, na vida de vocês jogadores. Vai ter um modo performance, vai estar no menu do jogo, você vai lá e aciona modo performance, crawl. No modo performance ele vai tirar um pouco dos gráficos e vai melhorar a performance. Obviamente que todo mundo vai fazer isso. Então vamos lá, Xbox One de 30 para 40 FPS, Xbox One S também, PS4 velho, né? PS4 tá aí, tá? Beleza? Então geração passada vai ficar com um ganhozinho de 10 FPS, já ajuda, porque não vai dropar de 30, né? O ruim é você jogar de 30 e dropar de 30, aí fica um lixo. Agora de 30 vai para 40 ali, vai ficar ok, beleza? Vai dar uma melhorada. Agora, Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, cara, vocês já vão jogar de 40 a 60 FPS. Olha aí, geração antiga, podendo chegar a 60 FPS. Porra, muito bom mesmo. Agora, Xbox Series X e PS5, cara, tem uma diferençazinha aqui, ó. Vamos lá. Xbox Series S, ele vai de 60 a 90 FPS. Eu não sei o que é Xbox Series S. É tipo um Xbox One melhorado? Não sei. Mas o Xbox Series X, que já é a nova geração, e o PS5 vão estar aí, ó, de 100 a 130 FPS e de 90 a 120 FPS, tá? Então já vão estar jogando em geração nova, vai poder jogar em pé de igualdade com os PCs tranquilamente. Tem muito PC que não bate isso aqui de FPS não. Beleza, galera? Muito importante isso daqui, hein, mano? Muito, muito importante. Tá? Para mim, uma das coisas mais importantes dessa season. Tá? Adiantando aqui. Tivemos um novo personagem. Tá? Um personagem aí da facção Outlander. Ele é um híbrido. Todos os personagens lançados agora é híbrido. Tá? Eles não querem mais ficar definindo se o personagem é pesado, esse negócio. Mas é isso. Inspirado na mitologia azteca. É um personagem aí bonito, tal, sanguinário, violento. Então vamos lá. Aí agora, pausa isso daqui. Vamos para a parte de gameplay, que é o que realmente importa pra gente. Gameplay do Ocelotl, tá? Vamos lá. Eu vou fazer um vídeo no meu canal amanhã, só não vou fazer hoje, porque esse vídeo aqui vai ter que rodar um pouco aí, a galera assistir, tá? Eu vou baixar aqui porque eu não quero ele falando em cima de mim para me confundir. Então, como funciona o personagem? Você tem chain de tudo para tudo, tá? Então, ataque leve para pesado, para leve, para zone e para bash, certo? O que você precisa saber? Que você não pode repetir dois golpes. Se repetir pesado, pesado é finalizador. Se repetir leve, leve é finalizador. Se repetir zone, zone é finalizador. E se repetir bash, bash é finalizador. Os ataques leves da chain são mega rápidos e irreagíveis. 400 ms, tá? Tipo o do Medjay da chain ofensiva dele, certo? O zone finalizador, ele troca ao lado do zone. O zone da chain tem hyper armor. O pesado da chain finalizador é imbloqueável. E o bash é fintável. Beleza? Entenderam tudo? Falei meio rápido, é só vocês voltar no vídeo que vocês vão entender. Ataques em esquiva. Ele tem um ataque em esquiva, creio que é leve. Se eu bem me lembro, é um ataque em esquiva leve, tá? Deixa eu só ver aqui de novo. Lembrando, galera, que todas essas informações eu vou passar, vou postar aqui no canal editado e bonitinho, tá? Então, só pra vocês terem um overview agora aí, um basicão aí. Tá, eu queria ver o ataque em esquiva, mas eu acho que o ataque em esquiva é importante a gente... Ah, bom, é irrelevante se é leve ou pesado, agora a punição é a mesma. Então, o ataque em esquiva, ele tem um ataque em esquiva que, pelo que eu vi aqui, não tem muitos iframes, tá? Não tem muitos iframes. Parece que é aquela esquiva igual a do Warlord e do BP, que é o suficiente para você esquivar de um bash ali, ponto, tá? Além disso, ele tem um bash de abertura do neutro, muito rápido, que dá 10 de dano e inicia a chain dele. Esses são os movimentos básicos aí explicados que eu lembro de cabeça, tá? Além disso, ele vai ter esse modo caçada, né? Que você coloca a guarda para baixo ali, ele entra nesse modo de caçada. Tá? Quando ele entra no modo caçada, é tipo uma Hidden Stance da Nobushi, tipo o modo ofensivo do Celta. Ele se move mais rápido e ele tem um dash heavy ali, um ataque pesado por cima, que ele vai buscar o cara muito longe, tá? Você vai usar isso daí quando? Quando o cara tá na teamfight, seu aliado tá lá batendo no cara. Meu, seu aliado conectou um golpe, você dá esse golpe em cima do golpe do seu aliado, tá ligado? Tipo, pra garantir, né? Então aí vai funcionar bem. Vamos ver situações de gank, como isso vai funcionar. Beleza? Então, basicamente é isso. O personagem é isso. Tá? Deve ter mais coisas, mas o que eles explicaram foi isso. Tá? Agora vamos para os feats. Primeiro feat. O feat, eles são passivos, tá? Temos o primeiro, o segundo e o terceiro feat passivo. E o quarto só que é uma lança. O primeiro feat, cara, é uma das coisas mais diferentes do novo personagem. Por quê? Quando você morre e você conquistou esse feat, ó, eu tô com o feat ativado, eu vou morrer. Quando eu morro, automaticamente, ó, presta atenção, isso é importante porque ele falou só depois da live, tá? Ó, morri, presta atenção. Eu não vou pro respawn normal. Uma vez que eu jogar de Ocelotl, eu não tenho respawn normal, igual os outros personagens. Então é forte. Vamos começar a pensar o quão forte isso é. Porque um personagem normal, você tem aqui os seus 9 segundos, certo? Se você não foi executado, eu não lembro ao certo quantos segundos, mas é por aí, tá? Ó, tá no delay, tá vendo, ó? Tá no delay aqui, certo? Ó, a partir desse momento aqui, ó, acabou o delay, ó, respawn. Eu, com o personagem normal, posso respawnar no respawn do meu time, só que eu vou voltar full life. Já o Ocelotl, ele pode se mover, passou 10 segundos, ele pode respawnar, mas ele vai estar sem vida. Tá vendo? Ó, sem vida. Então, para isso aqui funcionar bem, você tem que ter uma base conquistada, para o cara se healar na sua base, ou o time vai ter que estar bem esperto. Porque para ele recuperar a vida total dele é 40 segundos, cara. 40 segundos. Então, pensando bem, não é tão forte assim, não é tão quebrado assim. Ele é uma faca de 2 gumes ali, mano. Tá vendo? Ele pode ser um negócio que, assim, você vai pegar uma área inimiga, tal, mas você vai ficar um tempo a mais sem o seu teammate. Até onde isso vai ser bom, né? Então não é tão roubado quanto a gente imaginava. Você vê que, assim, ó, a explicação do JC veio depois que a gente viu os feats. Ele podia ter falado isso na hora do feat, que aí ninguém acharia tão roubado, tá? Eu já meio que não tô achando mais tão roubado. Entendeu? Então vamos lá. Segundo feat. O segundo feat funciona da seguinte maneira. Uma vez que eu tenho esse segundo feat e alguém me mata, o cara que me matou vai tomar um debuff, certo? E ele vai ficar marcado, igual o primeiro feat do Shaolin. Mecanicamente deve ser a mesma coisa. O terceiro feat é se quando eu mato alguém eu ganho um buff, não é isso? Puta, já esqueci, velho. Mas eu acho que é isso. Quando eu mato alguém, eu ganho um buff. Pera aí. Acho que é isso. Se eu mato alguém, eu ganho um buffzinho. Depois eu vou ver detalhadamente e falo pra vocês. E o quarto feat é uma lança tipo do Scorpion. Ele manda um Get Over Here. Ó, dá 8 mais 8 mais 8 mais 8. Então ele dá 34 de dano. 34 de dano. Certo? 34 de dano? 32 de dano. Ele dá 32 de dano. Garante um heavy ataque. E regenera mais rápido. Tem que ver o tempo aí que ele vai regenerar. Que eu não sei se eles estavam usando o tempo padrão do feat aqui. Ou se eles estavam usando o respawn rápido de feat para testar. Não sei. Vamos ver o quão rápido vai regenerar isso. A princípio é fraco. Agora, se ele regenerar rapidão, aí pode mudar. Tá? Pode mudar. Então é isso, galera. Fora isso, do novo personagem, tá? A gente teve o Patch Notes aqui. A relevância do Patch Notes é Yomungander tomou um nerf na martelada dele. Ok? Então se ele errar a porrada no joelho para te derrubar, você esquivar, você pode punir ele, certo? E se ele acertar, não toma mais 26, é 30 de dano. Soco do Centurião carregado agora tem Hyper Armor mais rápido, o que vai impedir você de dar um light para interromper o soco. As Caltrops, né? Esqueci o nome disso em português, mas é o segundo feat da Nuxia, que ela joga os negócios no chão. Agora o cooldown dele é o dobro, 90 segundos. Esse feat estava quebrado, roubado, todo mundo sabe disso. Tá? E o tempo de duração agora é 15 segundos de 25. Fora isso, não temos mais nada. Não temos mais nada, tá? Galera, é isso. Esse foi o meu resumo aí da Warriors Den, beleza? Tudo vai sair semana que vem, tá? Emanuel, tudo vai sair semana que vem. Alguém tiver alguma dúvida, pode falar. Manda aí que eu respondo agora. Se não, tô fechando a live que eu preciso comer, que eu tô com muita fome, cara. Eu cheguei e vim correndo, são 3 horas da tarde. Eu cheguei aqui do trabalho e vim fazer a live para vocês, tá? Deixa o comentário aí que vocês acharam no vídeo da live. Deixa o like, por favor, para ajudar o meu trabalho. E para quem não lembra, eu faço lives na Twitch, não faço mais no YouTube, tô lá na Twitch sempre, beleza? Galera, é isso. Muito obrigado. Um abraço do lenhador. E até a próxima. Eu vou fechar a live aqui porque, enfim, né? Aí amanhã eu lanço os vídeos aí com um detalhezinho. Um abraço. Tchau.